is that people don't have an attention span. I don't buy that for a minute. First of all, Netflix has proven that to completely not be true, because we'll binge an entire series of Emily in Paris over the weekend, not speaking about anybody I know. But I just don't think we humans have devolved to not having an attention span. The problem is we have too many things vying for our attention. We have too many choices. And when you're working with a clientele when money's not an issue, they think the world is their oyster. They have all the choices. In my photography business, we were striving for a $10,000 average sale for a collection of photographs. Now, mind you, your average photographer was trying to figure out how to make $500. So they were not the issue. There was no sense of competition amongst other photographers. In fact, when you choose to serve the luxury market, you've already singled yourself out from your field that other people in your field are not the issue. The issue is all the other places they can spend a comparable amount of money. Because when money's not an issue, all the choices are open to them. So I didn't worry about other photographers. I worried about whether they were going to spend $10,000 on jewelry, a vacation, clothes, all the other places they can spend an average amount of money. Now, here's the thing. We know this is true in the ordinary world, the world most of us live in. Imagine how much of a challenge too many choices is when money isn't an issue. You literally have all the options available to you. We have to figure out how to be the choice amongst all their choices, okay? They're not even comparing apples to apple. It's like apples to kiwis. Like, it's not even the same hemisphere what they're comparing. Curious from any of you, if you can recall any conversations recently or in the past, can you think of any times you've witnessed somebody making a comparison? Like to hire you or do this or invest in this piece of furniture in their decor. You can think of occasions. Like you can sit there, and now that I've said it, it's gonna be one of those things that you can't unsee. You're going to see it, particularly when you work with a clientele that when money is an issue, you're gonna see them going through this process of deciding where to spend their money. I saw this firsthand in the design field because I shared an office with an interior designer in New York City for a few years, 3 to 5 years. One day she received a phone call from a client this was in like 2008, 2009, right after the economy crashed. She got a call from a client who was canceling the purchase of 2 $25,000 sofas because he did his research. Right? You all know how that goes. He did his research and he found 2 $1,600 sofas that he felt would serve just as well. Yeah. Now, here's the thing though, when all the options in the world are available to you, and you understand this about the luxury market, you can also use it to your favor. I had a client who, after ordering thousands of dollars in photographs, was beginning to object to spending just another $400 for a single 5x7 that his wife wanted. So I said to him, Rick, you're gonna go to dinner tonight and you're gonna buy a $400 bottle of wine and it's gonna be gone. Your wife wants to wake up to a 5x7 portrait on her nightstand of her kids playing on the beach. Are we even going to make this comparison? Right? Of course, he got the portrait, and I'm sure he got the bottle of wine too, because it wasn't going to break the bank. Okay. The challenge is that we can't strive to just be the best in our field. When you're serving the luxury market, you have to be the best amongst all their choices. Wow. That is a tall order. But if we're honest with ourselves, or maybe it's just me, but that kind of jazzes me up. Like, I think that's the challenge and fun of working with the luxury market, is to figure out how are you the choice amongst all their choices. It says a lot about who you are when you're able to accomplish that. If there's ever a time to pat yourself on the back, it's when they have chosen you because they have the world is open to them and all the things they could choose. When money isn't an issue, too many choices is the challenge. So you have to be so exceptional in what you do. You have to be so exceptional in who you are as a person today, because people make a decision to hire you based on how they feel about you in ways that I have never seen before in my 40 years. Honestly, you can't get away with just being the best in your field anymore. I used to, back in the 80s, when that was an actual strategy, you elevated yourself. There were some very well-known interior designers, particularly in the area I worked with, the tri-state of New York, that were very well known for the design work, but everybody talked behind their backs about them. He, she is such a diva, difficult to work with. And I'm sitting there thinking, then why are you working with them? Because that's what you did. And I built an entire business on a similar philosophy of make yourself such a brand that people would put up with even if you weren't great to work with. Not today, right? So you have to be exceptional, not just in what you do, but exceptional in how you stand out in people's lives. You have to be the most moving experience. I like to look at it as you have to figure out what they can see and what you offer as a promise is that choosing you will be the most life-transforming experience they will have. Life-transforming. That's how exceptional. So my designer friend, by the way, after she recovered, she was devastated by this phone call, and after she recovered, I had said to her, well, here's what you might think about doing. Have another conversation with him and explain to him that these $1,600 sofas in your living room are not just to be looked at. They're going to be sat on. They're going to be sat on by your closest friends and family members. How are you going to feel when you see people close to you sitting on a $1,600 sofa in the most prominent room of your home? Are you going to fear that you're going to get called out? Are you afraid that people are going to realize that this isn't a quality that lives up to the quality of your beautiful Hamptons home? Guess what? They got the sofas.